What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be a review slash just a little talky talk about Dirty John. Now, Dirty John is coming on Bravo. It's a limited series. I think it's like a 6-part series or something like that. But it is based on the podcast slash true story. So the story of Dirty John is actually a story that happened, right? But then a podcast came out maybe about a year ago. I'm not sure exactly the timeline. And so this is a series based on those true events. Now, anybody who knows me, y'all know, you might not know, but I'm telling you, I love true crime. I love ID channel. I love anything that is in that genre. I don't review a lot of that stuff because really, first of all, that could be a little bit of a downer that you always reviewing about somebody getting killed or something like that. But the stories just intrigue me. So I decided I was going to review it, right? Now, if you watch the podcast, if you listen to the podcast, it still, because I listen to the podcast, but seeing something played out in front of you, it gives you a different perspective. And also, of course, just like with anything else with a Hollywood production, there's going to be their own spin on it. So, the story is about a professional woman named Donna. She has a very, very, very successful interior design business. I mean, she's like in the podcast, she's driving Teslas and Jaguars. In the movie, she had a Maserati. Either way, we know that anything on that realm, we know what we're working with. She has 3 children, 2 girls and a boy. She was a single parent most of her life. And she got into the interior design business really more out of survival. Like, she needed to take care of her kids, and it thrived. It became this very successful business out on the West Coast, out in California. So we start the movie off. I'm going to just stick to the movie, right? If you want to listen to the podcast, you can go ahead and listen to it, download it. It's just called Dirty John. But in the movie, we see her with her business. That's how the movie sort of opens up. And then we see her, she's dating. She's doing online dating. And anybody who's done online dating, myself included, you know that you're going to come across a whole lot more duds than spuds. Well, spuds, you know what I'm saying. Bad than good. People do what they do online, you know what I'm saying? And, dating is about meeting the person that you're going to want to be with. So we see her go through a series of dates, and it wasn't like these men were blatantly doing something. It was just that little stuff, like one guy she went on a date with just kept drinking, like he was chugging them down. That's a warning sign. If on the first date you have to have 3 drinks to get through dinner, and I don't mean like little frilly, I'm talking about he was chugging them like, bring me another one, bring me another one. That might be a warning sign. There was another guy she went on a date with. He couldn't stop talking about his ex. Again, that might be a warning sign. What was another one? Another guy, he kept correcting her and kept sort of like down talking her. So, I mean, these weren't men that were, showed up and was anything ridiculous. Just those little things that you're like, no, I'm not really trying to date you. So then she comes across a guy by the name of John. Now, John represented himself as a doctor. He was meeting her at her apartment, and they decided they were going to walk to a restaurant that was in walking distance of her house and go to dinner. And she lives with her daughter. Now, her and her daughter in the movie, her and her daughter seems to have a very strained relationship. They're in counseling. Her mother blames her for a lot of things. Oh, Donna's been married 4 times. So her daughter really just doesn't trust her judgment when it comes to men. And, she always be side-eyed when she got a new man or brings a new guy around. She be giving him the, So John shows up for the date. Daughter goes to open up the door. The daughter's a little snobby, right? She's got that whole Valley Girl thing going on, and just with her Birkin bags and her, she's got that air about her. She's a little bratty, right? She opens the door, and Mr. John, excuse me, is standing there in some old wrinkled cargo pants, a little polo shirt, and some dirty sneakers. See, 2 things. The first thing is, when someone shows up on a first date, you expect a certain level of you trying to impress me. Unless the date was to an amusement park or something. But even then, if it's a first date, you still might want to iron your outfit. Even if you're wearing some shorts and a cargo shirt, in a polo shirt, you still might want to iron it. You might want to buy you some new sneakers that don't look like you done had them on for the last 20 years, right? Then the second thing is when you present yourself as a doctor, there's a certain expectation. I know that every doctor ain't no $1 billion listing type dude, but you expect a certain level. So of course her daughter was looking at him like, first she thought he was a delivery man. Then he was like, no, I'm here, to pick up Donna for the date. Honey, why her daughter leave him standing in the hallway and went on back into the apartment like whatever? So then he comes on in and he starts looking at the stuff and she was like, you don't have to touch it to look. You can look at it from right there. So you already see that there's something with them. And, it's a combination of things. One, I think she already just doesn't trust her mother's judgment and doesn't trust that her mother can find a man without it being something crazy. Because her mama been married 4 times. But two, I think it was his appearance. So him and the daughter they clash off the break. So they go out on this date and they actually having a really, really, really great time. They're having a really good time. They're having a couple of cocktails. They're getting along. He's saying all the right things. He's talking about he was with Doctors with Borders and he has all these war stories from when he was a doctor in Afghanistan. And then he says, oh, but I'm talking about me too much. What about you? And, he's, you know what I'm saying? He know how to finesse it, right? They get back to her apartment. They're kissing. They're kind of getting into it. So she's like, excuse me a minute. She goes into the bathroom. Ladies. She goes in a little, freshen up a little bit. She putting a little toothpaste on her tongue, freshen up her breath, right? And she hears somebody come into the room. Next thing you know, she goes and this fool and laid in her bed and got himself comfortable. First of all, he still got his shoes on. So even if I invited you into my bedroom, which she did not, what you doing with your shoes on in my damn bed? And he talking about how comfortable the mattress is and how nice the mattress is. And oh my goodness, this mattress is just so comfortable. And she was like, I thought we would just kind of hang out in the living room area. I didn't really think I wanted you to come into my bedroom. And he was like, oh, well, I thought maybe if I maybe I misread your vibe. And she was like, well, no, but I don't think we're ready for the bedroom yet. Come on, let's go on back out into the living room. Why he act like he wasn't gonna get out the bed? To my, oh, this mattress is so comfortable. Even to the point where he rolled over and act like he couldn't hear her when she was telling him to leave. And she was real polite about it, but you could tell that she was starting to get a little nervous and was thinking, oh shit, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe my daughter, because the daughter kept telling her don't have him in the apartment. So he gets up and storms up out the apartment with an attitude, right? So she chalks it up. You see her the next day talking to her assistant like, I don't know why he did that. We had a really good date, but, I just don't know why it ended that way. So she chalks it up like, okay, just another bad experience. Well, honey, he calls her. And sweet talks his way, telling myself, I just want to apologize. There's no excuse for how I acted. So anyway, I'm not going to give y'all all the details. So trust and believe, even though I'm giving y'all a little bit of a play-by-play, it's a lot of stuff that y'all still need to see. I'm not telling y'all everything because I want y'all to watch it. It's pretty good. So she ends up giving him another chance. She gives him another opportunity to take her out. And this time, he stays on his best behavior. He doesn't even come into the apartment, all that good stuff. So she really likes him. She really likes him. The daughter hates him. You see that they're sort of falling in love. They've slept together and, they've spent time together. And he tries to reach out to the daughter again. And the daughter, of course, is still paying him no attention, girl. The daughter keeps her purses in a safe, honey. I ain't mad at you because she's got some expensive bags. She's got, the Birkins and all that other stuff. And you see the sister... Her and the other sister, because remember she has 3 kids. The other sister lives in Vegas and is a dog groomer. And him and the daughter get into it again because he sort of walks in on her while she's in her bedroom, while she going in her safe. Now, mind you, she already don't trust this man. So she want to know, first of all, what he doing here, why he spending the night, and why is he walking up in on me in my bedroom. And she's nasty. Like, she really is a brat. Like, don't get me... The sad thing is her intuition wasn't too far off. The problem, though, was she was still a brat. This dude could have been Prince Charming. And she was still just being really nasty. Because he was really trying. You know what I mean? At least in the beginning, he was. So, then we see... It must have been like a reunion type event or an industry event. It was like a black tie affair. And he shows up in his scrubs. First of all, he was late. And then he showed up in his scrubs like he just came up out of surgery or something. But and he apologized. He was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so underdressed. You look like this. You look like $1,000,000." I mean, she was looking good, girl. Had on her gown and her sequins, and she was looking good. But they end up having a good time anyway. So this is just making her fall even more in love with this man, right? He's saying all the right things. He's doing all the right things, and so they decide they're gonna move in together. She goes to her daughter and she says, they're 5 months up on the lease. Our therapist says that we probably need to spend some time alone. We probably need to separate ourselves. And I think this is a good opportunity for us to do that. So you stay here and ride out the lease, and I'll get another place. And while we continue to work on our relationship, right? She tells him about her past, and then he tells her he loves her. All that good stuff. They end up moving in together, getting this house together on the water, honey. Real nice house on the water. I'm sure it was very expensive. She pays for 1 year in advance on the lease, $87,000. He ain't paid nothing. He ain't gave her a penny, nickel, dime quota. Then we see Thanksgiving roll around. So she's lying. So here's the thing. She's lying to her children because of her past, because of the situation. She's not telling them that they're living together. Because mind you, at this point, they've only known each other a month. Where she'd have moved this man rented this house for a year and moved him in. They've known each other a month. And she's lying to her children, telling her that he's not living there. So the children, the daughter comes for Thanksgiving, and she's coming to stay with them for a couple of days with her boyfriend and everything. And the daughter realizes that he is living here. She finds a box of his stuff. She finds stuff, his toiletries in the kitchen. In the kitchen. In the bathroom, she asked her mom about it. Her mom said, well, he keeps some things here for when he spends the night, And she said, She said, Ma, he's living here. And so here's again where the daughter turns into a brat. Now, the daughter is going through his stuff, and she has the nerve to get indignant when he says something to her about, why are you going through my things? And, that was very rude of you. The mother is trying to defend her, and he says, something he said about your mother really puts up with a lot. If you was my daughter, I'd smack you for the way you talking to your mother right now is real disrespectful. Basically, he's like, you need your ass whooped is what he basically said. You're going to let him talk to me like that, Mom? Now, mind you, she cussing her mama out, but the minute somebody says something to her, it's a problem. So that's why I said her daughter's with some brats anyway. However, so now mama's sort of in the middle. She love her man, but her children don't like him. The daughter ends up leaving. The youngest daughter ends up leaving and not spending Thanksgiving. Because basically her mother said, look, either you're going to accept this relationship or you can go. This is Thanksgiving. I'm not going to have all this arguing. I'm not going to have all this disrespect. Either you're going to respect who's in my life or you can go. So the daughter decides to go. So the other bratty ass daughter shows up for Thanksgiving just to be an asshole. Like, she basically was just being a bitch. And we start to see some glimpses, a few little glimpses of John, right? We see that he can be nasty sometimes. When the wife ain't around, he can be a little, when Donna's not around, he could be a little nasty towards her kids and be a little nasty. He got his ways about him too. But of course, Donna's not saying this. One, because she's in love, and two, he ain't doing it when she's around. So she ends up taking a business trip to Vegas. Do I need to tell y'all what happens next? They go to Vegas for this business trip for her interior design. And they end up getting married in Vegas. And that's where part 1 ends. Now, like I said, I'm giving y'all the rundown, but I ain't giving y'all the whole rundown. It is good. The podcast was good. The movie is good. So far, this first part is good. Now, it's going to piss you off because you can see all of the parts, but it's gonna piss y'all off. But it shows how a woman can just fall in love and make some really bad decisions, y'all. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. And if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and go check it out. It's on Bravo. I'm sure you can probably catch it on demand. Talk to y'all later. Peace.